had maybe a Long Island iced tea. That's all I remember.
We were thinking about giving other people what they wanted.
Right.
Until something came upon us and we shifted and we said, this is our day. We need to think about what we want.
And we kiss.
And that sealed.
You turn around and like, yeah!
It's a church!
This was the best wedding ever.
What up, Styles Squad?
What's good? What's good? It's your boy Big Reemo. I'm here with the beautiful, talented Dr. Nova Styles.
And we are the Styles
Familia.
We had to cut that first
video.
video.
It was going too long. It was going way too long. But again, it was a 12-hour day. It was a weekend experience, really, if you think about it. So it's gonna be long.
Yeah, so this is part 2. Hopefully we can get this down in 2 parts.
Hopefully, yeah. Now this video is part 2. If you didn't see part 1, go check it out because there was a lot of intentionality and a lot of details about the day in part 1, right, babe?
Yes, so part 1 to our wedding day reflection,
right,
and every aspect of the day from our perspective and how we felt. All right, this is part 2, and we left off with us
at the pew getting married.
At the
with the ceremony.
With the ceremony.
Yeah, so we're up there and the ceremony is very traditional, so this part where you have to sit down, you have to get up.
Very traditional.
Yeah, very traditional.
I love that aspect of it. I really did.
We had 2 representatives to come up there, and I had my best man and her best man,
sweet.
And then her maid of honor and her other maid of honor. And it was just us 4, well, 6 up there with Father King.
My maid of honor is on this
side, my best,
and then my best man and Babe's best man on that side. Honestly, hovering over us, like with protection and blessing. That's how it felt to me. Like they were protecting and blessing us as they were there with us.
So then something's going on. It's very emotional, and the pew site is just like, it's kind of huge. So, and behind you, everybody just looking at your back, really. And we're there, and then like it's like, you know, with this ring, you may put the rings on, and we turn, and it's like, you may not kiss your bride, and we kiss.
And that sealed.
You turn around and like, yeah!
It's the church! It's like y'all in the church yelling and screaming in the church. It was cool though. We were married at this point.
And then we're like, yo, what we do now? And then they're like, walk.
Yeah, we were standing there. Like,
I think the photographer.
Two little things in love. Like, they're like, all right, walk down.
We got to like see our loved ones and, you know, kind of not greet them because we have to walk straight out, but like smile and nod and say thank you. And
say thank you.
Right.
So, but they watched us as we walked out. We walked down the lane, and then they followed us, and then the big doors in the front
big boy doors open, like 80-foot doors
onto Fifth Avenue.
Onto Fifth Avenue. If you know Fifth Avenue, that's like prime time. Like it's a big deal. I swear to you, the sun just like the clouds just parted. Like
oh yeah, there were clouds before this.
The clouds just parted, and the sun came out. I swear to you. I promise you it did. We walk out, and again, remember I told you, there was like 600 to 800 people outside just like waiting for us along the sides of the church. It was crazy. It was like paparazzi. It was crazy.
Now this is Fifth Avenue in a beautiful June summer day. That's the beginning of summer around that time. New York City is full of people, full of tourists, full of explorers. And so not only were all those people inside, they were hundreds of people outside, and we walk out, and they're like,
everybody goes crazy.
Crazy.
It goes so crazy.
Taking photos, and they had the pink. We have light pink, fuchsia, and white flowers on the outside of the church, and it was a really special moment.
Right. Nova wanted to do the first dance on Fifth Avenue, and I'm
in the middle of the street, not just on Fifth Avenue on the sidewalk.
Basically, like right in front of the church, middle of the street.
You know how flash mobs are when people just come in a big mob in the street and start dancing? I wanted something like that. Not everybody dancing, just us dancing. And Babe was gonna have it arranged where the street was blocked off.
Right.
I thought it would be more dope if the street got closed off by our people. So we planned for all of our people, all the guests in the wedding, of course, they didn't know because they didn't know any aspect of it, had to gather everyone up and go in the middle of the street, in the middle of Fifth Avenue with traffic going down the street, people all around the street because it's beautiful outside. And so they formed a circle around us so we could do our first dance in the middle of a Manhattan street.
The dopest thing about it was that, remember I told you there was a lot of people outside, they joined like the blockade too. So
they wanted to see what was going on.
Right, but we had random people blocking the street off for us, so it was just dope.
In the middle of a light change.
Right.
So we had to move quickly because the traffic was coming. The light for the perpendicular street was green, and so we had to do it before the light for our oncoming traffic turned back to green. And
but
we got
it done. We did our first dance, and then I remember we were still like shouting and screaming like, "Yeah, we did it!" Like, 'cause like again, the sun came out. We got our first dance on Fifth Avenue. The day was just going so well.
After that, we took a few pictures outside in front of the church.
A lot of pictures.
We took pictures in front of the bus, a few pictures, and then everyone hopped back onto the tour bus, the hop on, hop off bus, including us. And one of the things that we were very intentional about, you know how during weddings people say they don't get to interact with their guests, they don't get to talk to them, it's just this crazy day of grabbing people, giving hugs, taking pictures, but no interactions. We wanted to make sure that we got to interact and chill with our peoples all day, and that was another reason why we decided to have this experience where we could be next to our people. So we hopped on the bus with our people,
just talking to anybody, sitting next to people, just vibing.
Yeah, to head on to our next stop. Oh, we forgot something.
No, I'm about to say it. I got you.
What? Okay.
So we're from New York, you know what I'm saying?
We knew people was gonna be hungry at this time. So we said, what could we feed them? That's a New York staple, and it is, one of the staples is a chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese,
If you don't know what a chopped cheese is, you're not from New York.
Facts. So we hit up the bodega truck. Best chopped cheese in New York City.
And he personally catered for our guests.
I don't think people even like realize how big of a deal that was too, you know?
Right. So he personally catered. He gave us chopped cheese, the traditional ones, also some chicken options for people that didn't eat beef. And that was
the crazy French fries too.
Yeah, lunch with French fries and mozzarella sticks. So that was the lunch that we provided for everyone. And the plan was, and we'll talk about this, we have talked about this in our wedding planning video. The plan was to have the truck pull up in front of the church, but because of New York City legalities, that couldn't happen. So we had it personally delivered to our hop on, hop off bus. Right.
Everybody's eating, everybody's having a good time. We're on the bus. And we wanted to take pictures in places and moments that were special to us. So we had 3 stops. So the first stop we went to was City Hall.
And although we didn't get married at City Hall, that was a special place for us for 2 reasons. 1, because that's what we had to get our marriage license. But 2, because throughout this entire process of getting married and planning the wedding, Babe was just like, I just want to go to City Hall. And so I was like, okay, one of the stops is gonna be City Hall, so Babe can go to City Hall.
It was also special to me because my parents got married at City Hall. It was kind of like a full circle moment, you know?
Yeah. And so City Hall is the first stop. We got off the bus, took pictures. Yeah.
Everybody was around.
Our wedding party took pictures. We wanted some of the guests to take pictures as well. Second stop. What was the second stop? You remember?
It was Hudson Yards, right?
Yeah. The second stop was Hudson Yard. And why is Hudson Yard special?
The Hudson Yard is special because that's where I proposed to Babe. At the edge, to be more specific, but its edge is located at Hudson Yard. So we went there, we took pictures.
Yeah, everybody hopped on this time. We were like We don't care what you say. Everybody's getting off the bus. We don't care what time it is. One of the things that was important to us is not that we stick to the schedule and the planning, but we go with the flow, and whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. So at the first stop, we weren't able to, everything was kind of crazy, so we weren't able to stick to our guns and say no to people getting off the bus. But that was our intentionality behind the bus, where our guests could hop off with us, take pictures. We have a bunch of pictures with them individually and collectively, and then we hop back on, go to the next spot that's meaningful to us, and they see that as well. So during the second stop, we were like, no, everybody's getting off, right? And everybody literally got off.
Also dope because I proposed to Babe there, we wanted to do something special. So we had to hit that Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares one time.
Yikes. I don't even think we should add that part because everybody was
yeah, we was out of sync, but it was still a lit moment.
People did not know the
They know the lyrics.
I'm like, and you know what? I had thought about it a week before. Remember, I was like, should we send people the lyrics so they can know?
Probably.
And we should have.
You know who was hitting it though? I mean, Andy was hitting the lyrics. Andy was like, yeah.
I need to see footage.
He was hitting it.
So we were supposed to get that moment.
Yeah.
I think we kind of.
It didn't work out. We fought.
Everybody didn't know the lyrics, and
which
that's
is okay. It's alright.
It was still a dope moment because we got to take the pictures with everyone.
And Hudson Yard, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah. After that, we hopped back on the bus to go to our third stop,
which was the AMC movie theater on 42nd Street.
The biggest movie theater in New York City, the middle of Times Square. Right? So we had a private theater. People got popcorn, drinks. Our first date was actually to the movies.
Yeah.
They took me to the movies, and so that was special to us. And also because we film our lives and document our lives and share with the world to promote love and positivity and all of that.
A good example of what a marriage, a relationship, and a friendship should really be, you know?
Right. So we had recorded a new YouTube intro that we wanted to show our closest people first. So they got exclusive look at it. You didn't get a first look if you were not at the wedding, if you didn't get a ticket. But we showed our new intro, and then we showed another surprise video, but that's gonna remain a surprise. We're not gonna talk about that as of yet. The surprise has not been out to the full public as of yet. It's still a surprise. Only people that attended the wedding got to know that surprise. Right. So we had those two things in our own very private theater. But babe, we were on the big screen.
You made it.
We were on the big screen in the movie theater with us, our logo, our intro, our surprise video. On the big screen in the middle of Times Square.
That's dope, actually.
Our guests were really concerned because they hadn't had alcohol up until this point, and they're like, because I told people that it was gonna be a dry wedding. I don't drink, so they're really believing me, thinking it was gonna be a dry wedding. And by this time, it was almost 6 o'clock, and there was no liquor whatsoever.
But there was alcohol served at the movie theater, so there was option for alcohol.
No, but before that point, there was no liquor. No alcohol, but we knew at the theater it was going to be liquor. We also knew that we didn't want people drinking from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
tired, dehydrated, or just like messed up early.
And by 6 o'clock, they would have been done. So we started drinking at 6 p.m. and people still was done. So imagine people started at 12. It would have been crazy. So at 6 p.m. they had liquor at the theater. And that's when the liquor started. And people were like, oh, I thought it was a dry wedding.
We also pulled our wedding party to the side and told them the special surprise that we showed in the movie theater earlier before they actually saw the video.
So
they knew like on the way there, and then some people also knew within the movie theater before they saw the video.
They had little surprises, like sneak peeks before it happened, because we wanted them to have their own special moment before they saw it on the big screen.
Else saw it, So after that, we wrapped up and we
hopped back on the
bus
and hop off the bus. I want to say one thing about the intentionality behind my dress. My dress had a bottom fish, a mermaid kind of situation happening, and it was detachable. When I designed my dress, the initial design, that was included. But we didn't know at that point that we were gonna do this whole experience. Right. So that was, I had plans to have that to just take it off at the end of the night. But then when we switched up to do the experience, I was like, you know what? I had to have the zipper, we reconstructed it, and so the zipper could go higher so that I could take the bottom piece off to get on and off the bus comfortably. So it could be convenient for me and intentional for me so that I could be comfortable hopping on and off the bus. Why are you laughing?
Because you didn't do that until like the last time.
I know, because things got so crazy. I totally forgot to take it off until we got to the theater. But once I did that, I was like, yeah, it felt so much better. I forgot to take it off. But it was designed so I could take it off to hop on, hop off the bus. Right. That thing was heavy though.
We ended up leaving the movie theater, getting back on the bus. We went to our final stop, which was
for our reception, and that was located at the highest point in New York City. And this was important to us because we had our engagement party at a rooftop, I guess, event space, right? At a rooftop event space. And we wanted to keep the same vibe. And we looked up and down throughout this entire city to try to find an even better situation for a rooftop vibe, and we couldn't find it at all. And so we came across this event space, and at first we weren't gonna go with it because it was really, really expensive. But it was the dopest one. We always kept it in our back pocket, and we said, at first we were like, babe said, no, it's not happening, we're not doing that, absolutely not. The views, the height, what is it, 100 something floor we were on?
Whatever it is, it's the highest.
With floor to ceiling windows, and you saw all of New York City. Brooklyn, you can see Staten Island, the Statue of Liberty, you can see everything.
You see your mama.
We were at the top of the World Trade Center, the tippy top, the highest point in New York City, to celebrate our love. Our love on top, as Beyonce says.
Love on top. And the whole point about that was just evolution. We wanted it to be a long date for the day, so we took you guys on the movie theater. We had chopped cheeses, went to the church. It was supposed to just flow seamlessly. I proposed at Hudson Yards. The engagement party was at the other vantage point. So we only can go higher. We can't go lower.
Yeah, we wanted to be way up. And as Babe said,
all the way up.
We wanted it to be, we take weekly dates, as if you watch us, you know that it's very important to us to have a date every week. And we wanted to take our guests on our biggest date that we're going to have in our relationship, which is our wedding day, right? And so essentially we took them on our day date and a night date for the 12 hours with us, and took them to the movies, took them on a hop on, hop off bus to special spots with us, took them to the best church in New York City, and then ended it off with a party at the World Trade Center. That was the last stop. And when we pulled up, if you don't know the World Trade Center and you're just pulling up to the front of it, you might not know what it was. And it was kind of full circle for the guests, because the pickup spot that they were at 12 p.m. was the ending spot where we stopped for the reception. So we didn't have, when the bus picked them up at 12 p.m., we didn't have the bus pick them up in front of the World Trade Center because we don't want anybody to think it would be there. So we had the bus pick them up across the street, and then for the last stop, they dropped them in front of the World Trade Center. And you may not notice the World Trade Center, as I was saying, when you pull up to the front, because it's not this real fancy entrance or anything.
It's kind of like,
it's just one World Trade and that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of office-like. You wouldn't really think it's anything.
Our people told us when they pulled up, after the fact, they didn't know where they were going. And they said, well, if there's anything up to Nova and Reemo, we know this is gonna be something. And if you have never been to the World Trade Center for just a visit, you wouldn't know that when you go to get up to the certain floors that you need to go to, you have to go through security. And regardless, our guests still had to go through security because it is a high profile building and not the most regular of regular people have events there. So they had to go through security. And they were greeted with our engagement video on the way in.
They have a similar floor-to-ceiling theme, but with TVs and screens. So when you walking through the whole building, you're just seeing us.
The guests walked in and they were greeted with our engagement video. And then you get on the elevator and the elevator takes you up 100 floors.
Right.
So fast, with images of all of New York City and the history of New York City, and it takes you all the way to the top. And as we said, the guests had no idea all these things were happening. So as they're going up, they were thinking, where are we going?
Where the hell are we going? Right.
So the elevator goes up, and as it's happening, we got off the bus early because we wanted to have
a moment just to see the space, to hold each other and like say we did this. You know, me and Babe, me and Nova put this whole thing together, and to see our vision and our dream come to fruition was beautiful. Like,
yeah, so we got to go in and see the decor, see our logo on the floor, see the flowers, see our sweethearts table and everything. So as everybody was coming up, we were just chilling. Yeah, I started crying because it's so beautiful. And then we went to the back to go chill, freshen up a bit, and get ready for our entrance. And all the guests came up and saw the wonderful space and couldn't believe it that they were at the top of New York City with all the lights. By this time it was dark. It was 8 p.m., almost 8:15, 8:30. It was dark. You saw all the lights. They saw all the florals, the pinks, the white, the light pink, the fuchsia, all those florals, and the party began. So the wedding party came out. We came out.
Yeah, we had spinning on the track.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So we came out with first dances. Everyone was entertained on the tracks, the 1 and 2, by the famous DJ Booth. Big ups to DJ Booth. He was amazing. DJ Booth was amazing. What do you say, babe? He was, right?
Nah, he was really good.
He really interacted with the crowd. He shouted us out. Even when people were doing their speeches, he was on point with it. And so we came out, we did our dances, Babe with his mom. I did with my mom and my dad. Right. And then we started to have dinner. It was time to eat. I needed to eat. I wanted to make sure we ate. My brother blessed the food. And after that, it was time to party. When people walked in, they got greeted with a glass of Prosecco. Then it was an open bar. They were surprised it was gonna be an open bar. They said, Nova doesn't drink, why is it an open bar? And it's like, but it's not only about me, it's about y'all. It's y'all experience as well.
And I do drink. So.
And Babe drinks as well. So it was an open bar.
And top shelf, top of the top.
People were done. And from the drinks from the theater, and then getting there, I don't know how people got drunk in an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and from the theater to there, people were lit, and the party began. I wasn't drinking. I don't know why I was lit off. I was lit off of life and love and everything, because people were like, are you drunk? How are you drunk? It was a great time. We partying. 3/4 into the party, we had a big surprise. Yep. And Babe you knew but didn't know the surprise.
I knew, but I didn't know.
Right, because it was my surprise to Babe and myself. Because more so, Babe probably could care less. Yeah. But what? You probably could care less, right?
Go ahead.
Babe probably could care less, but it was a surprise to both of us. And even though Babe, I wouldn't say care less. That's probably the wrong choice of word. If I said to Babe, who would you like to have perform at our wedding? He would say this person, right?
No, facts.
He would have said it. So not only sticking with Evolution, but So New York, a Bronx love story, a New York love story. We had the best.
Her favorite artist,
Fabulous. Yo, who has Fabulous at their wedding?
So we're dancing, we're vibing, and then the track just comes on, and you hear Fab, right? And yeah, that was her exact face. So you hear Fab. And you hear the track.
You think it's a track.
But it sounds like somebody's talking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the hell? And everybody turns and like, nah. They're like, yo.
He walks out. Security behind him.
He's like all smooth. He's just like, yeah.
Just slides right in. Nobody knows. Because I didn't know, of course I knew he was coming, but I didn't know what it was happening. I'm like getting nervous, like what's happening? Is he not gonna show up?
It was the perfect entrance.
Perfect. Like,
everybody goes crazy. All the girls go crazy.
Everybody goes crazy, and they're just
vibing, man.
Saying out loud, I can't believe it, but I can't believe it.
Right.
That Nova and Reemo, this is what they just did. And we just vibed out. He gave us a concert. And here's me in the front.
Yeah.
With Babe seeing me, Babe's vibing. It was a
all the
really,
guests
really
were surprised
moment.
and happy. Yep.
Of course, once again, the guests didn't know.
Right.
This was another surprise for the guests. And after that, we vibed out for another few hours, dancing, having a grand old time. The dance floor stayed jumping. At the engagement party, people weren't really dancing. I was the only one dancing at the engagement party.
But it wasn't
and
really.
So I was nervous.
There was no dance floor at the engagement party though.
It wasn't. Well, it was a little area, and I was still dancing.
Nah,
but also,
dance floor kind of.
Babe was feeding me champagne.
I was. But the dance floor kind of invokes dancing, you know.
But still, at some parties and some weddings, people don't dance. It gets dry at a point.
Right.
There was no dryness. Everybody was on that dance floor from the moment it was dance time till the end. We had to get everyone out. Like, okay, guys, we gotta go.
Party done.
Unless y'all don't give us $20,000 for the next hour,
we gotta
go. And they were like, wait, $20,000? All right, we out. We out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not paying that. Y'all paying that? And they were like, all right, we out. So.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, yo. I had maybe a Long Island iced tea. That's all I remember after that.
One on Long Island.
No. I'm saying like towards the end of the night, I had this one
they
last
probably
drink.
had about 20 Long Island iced teas. And by the end of the night, when we were trying to, because Babe was not
I wasn't
coherent to escort people out. I was just, everybody got it, come on, let's go, guys. And Babe is getting escorted out himself by his groomsmen. Because I said, somebody get my husband. Y'all gotta help him. He needs help walking. Get him out. And Babe was slowly escorted out by a few of his groomsmen.
Yeah, I was done.
And my best man. My best man helped him a little bit, but he needed to be escorted out as well. So
that's
my husband,
how
as well as my best man, needed to be escorted out as well. But thank goodness, thank God, you had your groomsmen to help you and the groomsmen to help my brother. Right. My maid of honors, they were lit as well, but they didn't need to be escorted out.
Yeah, they were good.
It was a really, really amazing night for the reception. A really, really amazing day. And anything else you want to add?
I just want to say, like, this was the best wedding ever. Ever.
he might be a little biased because it's his wedding.
Nah. You can ask anybody who was there. Ask anybody who's seen it online, who heard about it. The best wedding ever. I promise you.
I have to agree. Whether it be in my wedding or not, I have to agree. At the beginning when we were planning, I guess we can talk about this in the planning process, but I'll say really quickly that we were debating in the beginning when we were planning our wedding, is we were thinking about giving other people what they wanted. Until something came upon us and we shifted and we said, this is our day. We need to think about what we want, and what we wanted was to get married in New York City, because we did consider a destination, but we wanted to get married in New York City. We wanted to
have really good food.
Have good food, right?
And beverages.
And we wanted to have a different and amazing time.
Right.
And so that's how we came up with this idea of having the experience, because we wanted to do something different and something out the box.
Right.
We didn't want it to be where you just go from the church to a reception hall and have a party.
Right.
And so
there
that's
definitely there was people in our ears like telling us to do that, like, you know, why are you guys doing this? Why are you doing that?
Why are you selling tickets? Why doesn't people know?
Right. Nobody's gonna come, etc., etc.
And there's a lot of people that didn't come. A lot of people that didn't support us.
Facts.
And we'll talk about that probably in another video.
We don't forget about that stuff.
Yeah,
stuff, you know?
a lot of people that didn't. And after engaging in the day, I would say I wouldn't have done it any other way.
Oh yeah.
It was the most amazing day, most amazing wedding. We had a great time. I will never ever forget that day, and I don't think anybody that attended it will ever forget it or ever stop talking about it.
Right.
Everyone knows that we want to have a 1-year celebration, and they're looking forward to it. So we're excited about that as well, to just continue the partying and the love. And that was another reason why we sold the tickets, because we wanted people to choose us, like you said, but we wanted to continue to build our unit and our community. And so the same people that our peeps saw at the engagement party were the same people that they saw at the wedding, and now they're building relationships and they're becoming family, and now we're all just this big unit of support, love, and family, and that's how we wanted it, and that's how we'll continue it. So, cheers to the most amazing wedding, the most amazing day. And we'll never stop talking about it. We'll probably make another video after like 1 year of marriage talking about our wedding day. What do you think?
But there's one thing we forgot to talk about. During the movie theater.